That takes us to France. Alex, what's going on there?
You can see the results on screen now of a vote taken by the French Senate, the upper house, and you can see that only 17 out of over 300 votes were against. And you might think that this was something uncontroversial here, but what this was the renewal of the multi-annual military framework law, the military program law for the period 2024 to 2030. If you look closely at the logo, you will see that the French Ministry of Defense is called the French Ministry of the Armed Forces. This armée means all three service branches, not just the land army. They are unashamed of this now. They are the ministry that champions the armed forces interests. That's what's gone through the upper house, much like the recent French Senate vote that we covered on spying on people's phones, without so much as a squeak. Here's what the fuss is about in the few channels like Sud Radio that have bothered to dig into it. When it was going through Parliament, the Assemblée Nationale, this text attracted very little debate. So what's on screen is the part of the law that's just been passed and which will ironically enter into force on Bastille Day, this Friday, which will revise the framework law for the ministry, for the armed forces. So the law that's passed has got this section which says Chapter 2, General Principles of the Framework Law on the Armed Forces, will be amended to read that if there is a real or foreseen threat, anticipated threat, that menaces the essential activities of national life, etc., territorial integrity, the institutions of the Republic, which means the politicians are about to fall, or of other natures justifying international efforts, the usual get-out clause, then they will be able to, you'll see it halfway through the text here, to requisition or to commandeer, you can also translate it. You can also just use the French word requisition in English. All persons, whether physical, natural persons, or legal entities, and all goods and services required by ministerial decree. The decree will even be able to go out to be issued not just by the Prime Minister, but as we see at the bottom of this extract, that the Prime Minister can tell other administrative or military bodies that they have the power to commandeer French persons, including citizens abroad. Those who are requisitioned or commandeered will be told that they have to serve the nation in this capacity. There will be some kind of compensation afterwards, but they'll be selected here for their physical and psychological aptitude, as you can see on screen at the moment, and their professional savvy and technological know-how. And if it's a company, they have to give all their resources and do work for the state. This is the extent of who can be commandeered. It will be anyone in France, any French citizen anywhere else in the world. And if they say, go away, I want nothing to do with France, they are risking a jail sentence or €500,000 fine if the French can get them one way or another by extradition or catching them on the return to see their family on a death or something. All companies with their presence in France and all French vessels, wherever they are. And there's the fine, €500,000 or 5 years in jail. So France can commandeer everything now in the grey zone between peace and war, because the new legal text makes quite clear, as well as the associated framework for the French military, in the footsteps of the British strategy now, that between war and peace and civil war, there's all kinds of threats to the state not further specified.
And are we talking about them lifting people off the streets effectively?
I cannot see any reason why that would not be the case, actually. The Ukraine and Russia during the current war have had footage emerge of men being grabbed, even old men and teenage boys being grabbed off the streets. I don't see any block to that in the text of the law or in the morale of those who command the French armed forces. I think it's perfectly possible.
Yes, okay, thank you. Now let's move